Good morning. Welcome to the program agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and, of course, followers of One News PH and watching agenda via the Cignal Play app, via Facebook, and YouTube. Today is June 5, 2023. It's a Monday. And we thank you for joining us. It's a bit cloudy, but Pag-asa has already declared that it's the wet season. Okay, I don't really know how to go about this anymore because some people say wet season, some people rainy season. Whatever the case may be for you, basa ka pa rin. Okay, welcome. And today we have a double feature. For those of you who were not born in the 1950s or very early 60s, you probably never got to see or go to those movie houses where they show two films, okay, in one viewing. Kumbaga, sabi nga, double feature. You have the warm-up and the main feature. But today, we have a double feature, and we are going to be talking about, in the first one would be, one topic would be human capital. What is going on as far as developing, improving, and enabling Filipinos to become productive assets of the country. And on the other, we have someone who can talk to us about a recent headline of the Philippine Star. Actually, I believe it was Saturday, where the DICT Undersecretary, I believe her name was Sige, had pointed out that Filipinos spend a lot of time on the internet, but they don't do it to become more informed, to learn something. It is not developmental in nature. Their use of the internet is entertainment purposes only. So we will discuss that with one of our guests for today. But first, let's go to the Daily Starter, something that I have started to really emphasize. And it comes from Benjamin Franklin, and it goes, "Tell me, and I'll forget. Teach me, and I'll remember. Involve me, and I'll learn." I have to confess, I still don't know how to use GCash. And last night, I finally told my wife, okay, involve me in the process so that I know what to press, when to press, how to press, etc. And for many things in life, if we are just going to say it, we don't teach it, and we don't show it, and we don't make people go through the experience doing it for themselves, chances are kinwentuhan mo lang yung tao. You just told them, but you did not teach them, or you did not enable them. The word is enable. To allow, to help people be able to do it for themselves. So, again, Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me and I'll forget. Teach me and I'll remember. Involve me and I will learn." Okay, let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star, and let's start the week, June 5, in a positive tone. Bivalent jabs now available. Okay. With the bivalent vaccines against COVID-19 finally available in the country, the Department of Health advised the eligible population to get a third booster jab against COVID-19. The DOH reported that over 390,000 bivalent vaccine doses donated by Lithuania arrived in the country late Saturday. Okay. to every eligible one and one, we urge for you to get your jobs. Okay, mabilisan na lang because we have two guests at the top of the front page. We have the header, Philippines, US, Japan, boost maritime security ties. Okay, and that is in pursuit of the same path that the United States has set, followed by Australia, Canada, etc. Big photo at the top of the front page. We have over 2,000 over 1,000 Filipino cyclists traversing the 16-kilometer route for the second Pedal for Peace and Planet in Quezon City. Meanwhile, Senator Chis Escudero shouts out and says, monitor progress of Maharlika. Okay, so yung sinasabi po is the Maharlika investment funds. Those who are dissatisfied, continue monitoring the progress of the MIF. Okay. Power rates seen going up this month. Okay, Meralco has indicated that power rates could rise this month following the completion of a distribution-related refund. So, be aware, magtipid po, etc. BBM wants to be remembered for helping ordinary Filipinos, okay, while emphasizing that we should all just focus on working for the moment or working first. President Bongbong Marcos has expressed that he would like to be remembered for helping ordinary Filipinos. Okay. Meanwhile, 97% rice sufficiency in 5 years, technically doable according to Federation of Free Farmers National Manager Raul Montemayor. However, even with such a state, the problem still remains that farmers will compete with importers who are not restricted by law. Kumbaga, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po. Meanwhile, pork producers can't afford 600 peso dose of ASF vaccine. Ayan po, nag-umpisa na yung complaint because some hog raisers have thousands and thousands of baboy in their farm. I know people with as many as 2,000 to 5,000 hogs. Hindi pa kasama dyan yung mga biik, etc. So you can just imagine how much that will translate for 600 pesos per shot. Okay. Photo at the bottom of the front page. Workers of the Metro Manila Development Authority conduct a cleanup along the Dolomite Beach in Manila Bay to mark World Environment Day. Kasi naman ewan ko kung sino yung utak pulbura dyan. I already suggested, put up buoys and put up a screen, a floating net to prevent the dirt hitting the Dolomite Beach. And speaking of buoys, Philippine Coast Guard declares that the 10 buoys installed in West Philippine Sea are all accounted for. Okay. There are no missing navigational buoys in the West Philippine Sea. Hindi po sinungkit, hindi ninakaw, hindi napatid. Okay. Let's now go to our interview portion where our guest gives us lessons and learnings based on issues of concerns. First, we will go for a break. When we return, we start the lectures for the morning. Back to your program agenda here on Cignal TV, One News, and thank you for joining us today for our first subject. We will be bringing in our Professor Emeritus here on agenda, who always teaches us about economics. Kasi hindi ko po pinasa economics 11. Okay, let's roll out the Betamax to introduce our first guest.
Ernesto Pernia previously served as the Socio-Economic Planning Chief under the Rodrigo Duterte administration. He is also a professor emeritus at the UP School of Economics. Pernia was also a consultant for the World Bank, the United Nations Center for Regional Development, and the Philippine Institute for Development Studies, among others.
Secretary Pernia, thank you very much for your time today, sir.
Good morning, Master Cito Beltran, my favorite interviewer.
Dati Don, ngayon master na. Parang tayo kung fu. Anyway, Secretary Pernia, thank you for your time, and we'd like to continue our conversation. You have been a very strong adherent proponent for developing human capital of a country. Now, many of our viewers might not understand the concept. So if you would, in simple terms, could you explain what human capital is and how it impacts a country and every Filipino?
All right. Okay. If we really start from the beginning, human capital starts from the womb of the mother. Meaning that the mother, when she becomes pregnant and be carrying a baby, should be well fed and well nourished, and adequately in terms of health interventions, so that the fetus will develop into a healthy baby over time. That's about 9 months, no? So by the time it comes out of the mother's womb, dapat healthy. Hindi pwedeng what you call this? Hindi pwedeng malnourished and stunted.
Stunted.
No?
Okay. So what you're saying, Secretary, and this is a revelation of sorts, because many of us tend to think, oh, buntis si Marites. Oh, may baby, dagdag sa population, etc. But you're actually saying every child, bawat pagbubuntis, every child conceived is a human capital of the nation.
Yes, it is. It is a potential human capital.
Okay.
When it grows, when the baby is born, it already has a brain that is around 10% of the adult's brain.
Mm-hmm.
By the time the baby becomes 5 years of age, it is already 90% of the adult's brain.
So by 5 years of age.
That is how rapid the development is of the baby. That is why it's very important that the mother is well nourished, and the baby, when it's born, is also adequately fed.
So literally,
hindi pwedeng anybody can just become pregnant and deliver. And that is why 30% of our children 0 to 5, by the time they are 0 to 5, by the time they are born, they are stunted and undernourished. And that is a problem, because over time, when they grow old, they will be unproductive. They will not be able to develop into a full human capital.
You're making the connection already. You're completing the connection, because here on agenda we have been discussing this, malnutrition, human capital, etc. When you mentioned that the child, by the time it is 5 years old, has developed 90% of its brain and its mental capacity. So essentially, if we don't take care of the children, not only will they be member of Barangay 411 or Bansot or stunted, including their brains are already stunted, so their learning capacities are limited.
That's correct. That is correct. What you said is just what I was going to further explain.
Okay.
And 30% of babies born in the Philippines, they are stunted and undernourished.
Mhm.
So they are unlikely to be productive members of the citizenry. And
Okay.
that has been our problem because we have the highest poverty incidence in ASEAN. You know that, no?
In the
We have the
Philippines.
Yes, the Philippines has the highest poverty incidence in the Philippines, meaning that and unfortunately, it is the poorer women who tend to have many children.
Mhm.
They tend to have many children, and they tend to be malnourished, and we have this problem of stunting when they deliver, unless they are they are provided the necessary nourishment from the government. Yun ang problema natin.
Okay.
And this becomes a vicious circle, Master Cito, because the baby when it's born stunted, and when they grow up walang capacity to learn, and therefore and then they get married, and then so the children again of those of that of the couple married na mga stunted will have the same problem.
Okay, now you headed the National Economic Development Authority. I'm sure that you must have seen this problem early on. What options or alternatives or solutions did you come up with? Because one option that has always been on the table is, the Nutrition Council. We need to have feeding programs. The government is now talking about food stamps and the 4Ps. An 17 years down the road, the poor remain poor under the 4Ps and the poorer become poorer. Is there an alternate solution where those who are better off will compensate for what we are losing from 30% or 40% of the workforce, Secretary?
Yes, but that would mean that the healthier mothers will have more children, more babies than the poorer mothers, so that they can overcompensate of the stunted, undernourished babies that the poorer women, the poorer mothers are delivering.
But that's not possible because
It's
women
not possible.
who discover economic independence tend to shy away from pregnancy.
Exactly. It is not possible because the richer women, the more educated women, tend to control their pregnancy, or they tend to have only maybe a couple or 3 babies at the most. So compared with the poorer mothers who have 6, 7 children, and that is difficult because they are poor. The family is poor. So what they don't have the wherewithal to provide healthy nutrition to the babies that they have.
Okay, we don't seem to have much of an option in that area. What does a government or a country have available in terms of alternative, solutions? If human capital cannot be relied upon, do we shift to technology? Do we shift to commerce, or the rich putting out money in ventures, etc.?
Cito, we really screwed up on our population management.
Mhm.
Recall that in 1970, the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia started family planning in
Yes.
1970.
Yes.
In the case of Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia, they sustained family planning through the years. And that is why they have a smaller population size. Well, Indonesia, relative to the land area, has a smaller population size. But
Mhm.
the Philippines has the largest population size relative to land and land and resources. And that is why we have 115 million now. It was about 110 million during the pandemic, but it has already grown to about 114, 115 million Filipinos. Whereas Thailand, which had the same population size in 1970, about 37 million, Philippines and Thailand, they have only 70 million, 69 million. So malaki ang diferensya. And that is why the population of Thailand, the children and the elderly, the teenagers, they are well fed, they are well nourished, and they are well educated. So because they don't have the problem of stunting and undernourishment.
And they have a better quality of life. Now,
Exactly. The better quality of life, right?
yeah. Now, the question here, Secretary, and I have to apologize, but you know how it is in the program where we never have enough time. So I'm just down to my last 2 minutes with you. So what would you recommend that we can do immediately? Something that we can still use to correct our situation?
Okay. We have three types of infrastructure. We have physical infrastructure. These are roads, highways, bridges, airports, power supply, water supply. Okay, that's physical infrastructure. The second is social infrastructure, hospitals, schools. The third, and in fact the first is human capital, human development, human infrastructure. And in our case, we have been spending so much on physical infrastructure, but not enough, hardly enough at all on human infrastructure. So what I'm saying is, in terms of vitality, in terms of importance, we should really focus first on human infrastructure, human capital development, and then the rest, the public-private, physical infrastructure, roads, bridges, and so on, airports, they can be done by public-private partnership, meaning public, that's the government, and the private are the private sector participants in the dual partnership, and they are the ones who finance the projects. Therefore, that frees up money from the budget of the government for that should go to human capital development, including from childhood through education, basic education, primary, secondary, tertiary education.
So
That is what we are missing. That is what we are missing. So we have an education crisis and a health crisis as well.
So
And,
given that what you're saying is government should go back to its fundamental duties, which is to provide food, clothing, housing, education, and healthcare, and let the businessmen do the business, and for government to get out of business.
No, they can. No, the government. The government is is a partner in developing physical infrastructure.
Okay.
But they provide the plan, and then the planning of the projects, and then the regulating. But
Yes, yes.
in terms of the financing, it is the private sector that finances.
Okay. Well,
Kasi in the budget now, for example, we have over 1 trillion pesos devoted to physical infrastructure, and you compare that with the budget for education and health, uh, human infrastructure. It's really small, and also our hospitals and education buildings are also deficient. Kulang rin eh.
okay.
That's the
Well,
problem.
Secretary Pernia, thank you very much for your time this morning. We will continue the fight. We will continue pushing for the things that you have listed down, because we are all in agreement. We need more hospitals. We need better healthcare, and we definitely need better education. And it is people like you who are giving more knowledge to our viewers so that we don't stay in the dark and that we can take positions on such matters. Thank you very much, Secretary Pernia.
Thank you to Don Cito Beltran.
Okay, thank you very much. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our first visiting lecturer for the morning, none other than former NEDA Secretary Ernesto Pernia. And now let's take a break. I believe we will go for a quick break. And when we return, we will go to our second guest. And again, it has to do with how Filipinos or whether Filipinos are investing on human capital or themselves, or we are just entertaining. We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Welcome back to your program, Agenda, here on Cignal TV. And like I said earlier, the second part of our program today will be tackling the issue or points raised by a DICT undersecretary who stated that based on their studies, observations, Filipinos are spending more time on the internet compared to other people or other nationalities in the region. But unfortunately, the time we use on the internet is mostly for entertainment. Joining us today is the managing editor of the technology news site called TechSabado.com. He is also the business and tech editor of the Manila Times, our friend, and techie, nagtuturo rin sa atin, lecturer, none other than Mr. Jing Garcia. Jing, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to everyone, and thank you for having me again here.
Okay, Jing, you were saying before we went on the air that this is a special month for you and your associates in tech.
Yes, it is the Information Communications Technology Month for the country. Every June we celebrate this, and I'm sure the DICT has a lot of events and conferences for this month to push forward the ICT agenda, the digital agenda of the country.
Okay, now you already heard me say it at least twice that an undersecretary of DICT, I think it is Yusek Sige, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
I
yes.
hope I didn't get her name wrong.
Yeah, also our friend sa Tech Sabado.
Your friend in Tech Sabado.
Yes.
Okay, siguro matulungan mo ako ma-interview siya.
Mm.
But
Oh, sure.
here's the thing. She said that Filipinos spend more time on the internet, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, etc. But most of them use it for entertainment. What have you observed and what's your comment on this?
Yes, unfortunately, the numbers are in for 2023, man. Linabas ko nito sa Tech Sabado at saka the Manila Times. We are actually on the top 5 of every entertainment platform that you can think of on the internet, especially TikTok, which is already the number 1 here in the Philippines, especially gaming. We are almost ahead of everyone else around the globe pagdating sa gaming. Sa Facebook naman, sa social media, we spend more than 3 hours a day. Mga almost 4 hours a day for just on our phone, on our tablets, on our computer, just doing social media. Pero hindi natin alam kung anong ginagawa ng mga tao diyan. Pero alam na natin mostly nga entertainment. Pero the alarming thing is we are more than the global average of around 2 hours. So malaki-laki yung spend natin sa social media. When it comes to gaming, number 1 tayo. I think the global average is around 88%, tayo nasa 95% ang nag-gaming lang sa atin sa Pilipinas. And tama ka, more on entertainment, which has been pointed out ever since more than 10 years ago. I've been while covering nga about this mga phenomena on social media, sinasabi nga ng marami, we should be producers of these applications rather than consumers. But we ended up as consumers. Ganun lang ang nararating natin when it comes to so the internet, and which is umabot na nga tayo sa point na uncontrollable. We've created a monster ng entertainment. Mapapansin naman natin yan even on television. Medyo yung mga tao talaga nagko-cord cutting. They're all online, especially after this pandemic.
Yeah, well, that's a natural reaction, sabi ng mga sociologists, psychologists. But when do you realize, or how do people determine, teka, sobra na ito? I know I hit the bottom when I watched 5 shows of NCIS sunod-sunod. Okay, sabi ko,
binging, watch, di ba?
yeah, okay, I've never done this, so this is bad, so I stopped it. Now, the other point is, I watched but I watch motivational video, inspirational video, and I try to drive my algorithm to the point where those platforms will only give me the things that can teach me something. How will people know they have a problem? What can they do about it, Jing?
I think if they're spending more time on their devices, no, watching something na hindi naman productive to their everyday lives, I think that's already a red flag. Especially pag kunyari, especially pag nasa work ka and that's all you do. Minsan nakikita ko nga minsan yung mga security guards, hindi ko naman nila lahat. Nanonood lang sa phone nila ng ng mga videos. Tapos ikaw lang dadaan-daan nga lang dun sa sa lobby or somewhere, or not even security guards, even yung mga behind the counters, di ba? Pagdating mo sa counter, nakikita mo kaagad na nandoon sila sa cellphone nila, and hindi ka naman inaano na dapat nila hindi gawin yan, pero syempre pag mga work hours, they should put it down.
Is there a way, meron bang paraan? Kasi natatandaan ko nung Jing, and I'm just doing recall here. There were apps or features in certain phones where you could check how much time did you spend on your phone, what were the peak hours in your phone, etc. Can you now determine if you spend too much time on Instagram, Facebook, blah, blah, blah?
Actually, lahat yan naman may footprint, no? So, especially on Apple iPhones, meron yung Apple Health. Even on Androids, no, meron mga apps or built-in apps nila na kanila na it will tell you. O minsan nga magbibigay ng alarm. You can set it kung gaano katagal na yung haba mo, or at least yung mga tao, they should set a limit sa kanilang mga mobile phones. If not naman, marami naman gaya ng sabi mo, may mga videos kang pinapanood na more on education. That's I think for me that's good enough. Like for example, kahit ako when during yung time of pandemic, I just watch mga DIY, mga do it yourself videos on YouTube. Kasi nung time na yun, hindi ka makatawag ng tubero, hindi ka makatawag ng electrician, hindi ka makatawag. So ikaw gagawa lahat doon. So you have to know. At ang dami ko na-realize ko, ang dami. Now I can even build my own electronic kits just watching those videos on YouTube. Even yung paglinis lang ng bahay, marami kang matutunan, mga life hacks nga kung tawagin nila. Yun yung mga ganun that could actually help you. Pero yun na nga, if you remember, there's usong-uso ngayon yung mga convention, yung mga sa mga kids. Like yesterday, may na-report nga sa Philstar yung parang cosplay or parang anime convention sa SMX yesterday. Punong-puno. Ako naman, I'm not against it na nandun lahat sila. Pero iniisip ko sana, I hope these same kids na nandun are also learning ICT. Sobrang dami nila kasi it's related naman eh.
I heard about that cosplay event and it got so bad, it got so overcrowded that the security personnel stopped allowing people to come in. And sabi nga nung pamangkin ko, ngayon in all the time that she's been engaged in that, yesterday, I believe, or the other day, was the first time that has ever happened. Kumbaga, sobra na, high risk na.
Yes, pero ang akin namang perspective doon, sana yung mga batang yun, lahat yun, will be ICT professionals. Nakikita ko sila doon dahil related naman sa internet. I'm sure lahat sila mga gamers, mga gumagamit ng computers, sila may cellphone, and I hope they'll be producers of of technology rather than just purely consumers.
Well, but what are the options, Jing? Because people will take what is available to them, what is accessible to them. Sa school, syempre, kukuha ka na advice sa tropa mo, barkada mo, etc., kung ano yung uso. I don't hear of the DICT, and no offense meant sa DICT. I support the DICT, but I don't hear of any government group, agency, or even private sector who is promoting, hey kids, if you want to make it in the future, if you want to have, high employability, if you want a forum or app that will get you started in building up your wealth, then go here. Parang, in fact, even in media, I'm sure you know this, kuminsan ang hirap maghanap tong mga experts and sites na more developmental, etc.
Yeah, that's so true, no? I think may focus naman dyan, hindi lang talaga napupush masyado, especially sa DOST, sa one of the government agency under DICT. I think marami silang projects and and mga tech, especially tech project na catering to yung mga hindi kaya ng higher education, doon nila ino-offer. Marami namang ino-offer ang DOCT. Ang problema lang kasi alam naman natin yun na nga yun na nga purely entertainment na lang habol natin sa ating mga devices. Alam mo, para sa akin, it was an effect of the past 6 years of dumbing down the Filipinos. Di ba? Wala silang ginawa kundi i-push yung mga Pinoy. Smart shaming, di ba? Nauso yung smart shaming na ikaw na matalino, o di wow, ganyan yung mga sagot na lang ng mga tao kasi we were dumbed down by certain sectors rather than push us forward on this technology. Dinam down lang tayo. So yung mga tao, parang ano ba yan, internet na yan, ano ba yung social media na yan, parang ayoko na nga dyan kasi hindi na alam, there's business opportunities. Facebook is offering business. Ang napakalaki ng Facebook Marketplace. Unfortunately, marami pa rin scammers sa Facebook Marketplace. But it offered people opportunity for small businesses. Yun din yung TikTok because they see people doing this mga pushing their products. Ginagawa na rin nilang business platform siya. The same with YouTube.
Okay.
Ganun din.
Yeah, Jing, this is, I have to be honest, for transparency's sake, no? My wife and I have been experimenting with TikTok simply because I have seen so many motivational speakers go on that platform or use that platform. And then there was one particular woman who said, your visibility is your responsibility. And the direction was that you need to be visible and because it is the modern way of marketing.
Yes.
Now, yung bang TikTok talaga, for as far as your authoritative experience is concerned, does it make sense? Is it really useful?
Yeah, it makes sense for everyone kasi yun na nga, visibility is the key to kumbaga kung sa business ka, location. Dito naman visibility. Doon dapat nakikita ng mga tao. Ang problema, you have to target. Ang maganda kasi you have to target your audience. Hindi ka pwedeng nagtitinda kang tinapay tapos puro cosplayer naman ang audience mo, di ba? Unless yung mga cosplayer mahilig sa tinapay, di ba? Sa homemade bread mo. And, I mean, you have to target them, kung sino yung talagang audience mo. And yun ang maganda sa digital. You can target, kung yung Facebook, Google, YouTube, TikTok can target you, di ba? Ng mga through advertisers, tina-target ka directly. Diba? Sabi ko nga, last time tayo nagano dito, naririnig nga ng Alexa or ng Google Assistant kung anong gusto mong kumain, bila na lang, all of a sudden, puro restaurants na lang ang ads mo. Ganon. Dapat na ma-maximum, nakakapitalize ng mga users yung ganong klaseng technology, yung algorithm na tinatawag. And unfortunately again, hindi na ituturo sa atin yan. You have to learn it through them, through Facebook, through YouTube. Ang problema kasi, yun na nga sa education natin. I believe, kasi medyo hindi ko na alam kung ano yung curricula sa mga schools, how they put technology in their curriculum, no? Hindi na ko privy sa mga ganung situation kung paano nila pinupush sa mga bata. Ang problema kasi, it's the same with parang yung weapon binigay sa'yo tapos just use it, alam mo makakapatay yung kunyari yung baril binigay sa'yo, hindi mo alam na gamitin, hindi mo alam nakakapatay pala, di ba? It's the same with the devices, binigyan tayo ng cellphone apps but people don't know how to use it actually. So marami na scam, maraming naloloko kasi nga they actually don't use it and there's no one teaching them.
Well, you're already talking about a business opportunity and a social responsibility,
Yes.
which is why is it no one has not set up a legitimate CSR or business for that matter, like IT Academy. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
hindi yung computer na yung mga school na for
Yes.
may degree. I'm talking about I would enroll in short courses. Oh, Sir Cito, turuan ka namin on how to get Instagram.
Oh.
Or because I saw this in Korea, Jing. They
Okay.
actually had hindi naman university siya, pero this guy actually put up an academy. I think that's what it's called. Social media academy, where students would enroll, get to understand the concept of social media, and then how to do their videos, how to do their presentations. And of course, you can't beat the South Koreans when it comes to
Yes.
social media. Yun nga BTS nag-military service lang, bumagsak yung economy ng Korea
Although may mga corporations dito, they have CSR pushing this almost similar agenda, like the PLDT group, meron sila yung smart, meron silang cyber smart. They go around the country teaching people how to be how to be responsible in using these devices connected to the internet, and also to prevent mga cyber crimes and be a victim of this criminal.
Yeah, but that's more preventive. Kasi pag
Yes.
tinuruan mong paano maging beneficial sa kanila and not defensive or protective, most people will want in. They buy into that, don't they?
Yes, that's true. Ganun na nga. Ganun na nangyayari.
So bakit walang nagtatayo? O tayong dalawa ba magpa-partner na very soon? Wala kasi akong alam din sa social media, but I keep hearing, I'm talking very accomplished individuals with 4 or 5 companies. Pag nagko-copy kami o nagkikita, pare, nagpapaturo ako sa anak ko kasi hindi ko maintindihan to.
Yun na nga ang matindi pa dyan, this kind of technology encompasses all ages, di ba? Lahat from baby, nagiging babysitter nila yung mga devices, to the old people, hanggang sa old people, na nagiging part na doon na titingnan yung health nila, kung kumusta na yung heartbeat nila, yung mga...
But is it possible, Jing, that and no reflection on Yusek Sige, no? Kasi sa kanya, concerned siya. DICT is concerned that Filipinos are using their devices for entertainment and social media platforms more for entertainment than for learning. But is that really a bad thing? I mean, to be on the opposite side.
No,
Kasi,
hindi naman. Part naman ng human nature na to be entertained, I'm sure. Kasi yun din yung papaano nila yun, paparelax, to park their brain. Pero yun nga, pag anything na sumobra, di ba? That's really bad. And I'm sure may mga nare-rehab na for computer addiction, smartphone addiction, and I think that's a reality, no. Ito na nga yung matindi. Sasabi ko naman, napansin mo ba yung mga car park ngayon, Cito, pinipicturean na lang yung plate number mo, tapos pipila ka, ikaw magbabayad dun sa loob ng mall, tapos paglabas mo titingnan ng camera kung ikaw nga yung car na nagbayad sa taas. Imagine kung ang level mo lang hanggang car park attendant, di wala ka ng trabaho ngayon. Di ba?
Correct.
At the same time, yung people na nagpe-print ng paper lumalabas sa machine, wala na rin sila business. Di ba? Technology already taken over. Ano yung technology na yon? Sabihin nila automation, but it's also a product of artificial intelligence. Diba? It can actually see your
pati, it's not yet happening, but even security guards,
diba?
Napapalitan na sila ng CCTV, central monitoring,
face recognition. And yung dito mga automation, bumibilis yan because of AI. Diba? Yun na nga ang problema Hindi nga na-realize ewan ko kung hindi pa rin na-realize ng government or ng mga tao mismo na somehow their jobs are at risk because of technology.
Is that the case, Jing? Or is it possible na Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will now use our apps, devices for entertainment. And as far as employment is concerned, let's all find a course where the apps can displace us. I mean, like medicine, laboratory.
They use robots for they use robots for surgery now.
Huwag kang ganyan, my friend.
Hindi, ito na yung sinasabi ko nga. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, when I go to press conferences, then we talk about AI. Parating press release ng mga companies, the jobs of the future are not created yet. So eventually, pag tinatanong about employment, kung ano yung effect ng AI sa employment, there will be jobs. I'm sure na kasi hindi pa daw na-invento yung mga jobs of the future, and AI can't replace anything. May matrabaho pa rin. Yes, pagdating na AI, 10,000 ang nawalan trabaho, 2 jobs ang nagkaroon na-create ng AI. Mag-control sa kanya, bantayan siya. Imagine from 10,000 to 2.
Well, yung farming na lang eh. I was speaking to a friend, very experienced businessman, and he shared na nilapitan siya ng ano bang tawag doon, yung remote control na mga
drones.
Ano ka mo?
About drones?
Drones. Remote control that can plant.
Diba?
That can plant seeds in precision, in rice paddies, etc., and can drop fertilizer in precision in rice. And sabi ko, well, yeah, I've heard of that, of replanting in the mountains for reforestation. It is done by AI. So parang nalintikan na tayo.
So nawala na yung no farm workers. Just imagine, ito automation pa lang tayo nung 80s or 90s eh. 'Di ba nagka-problema na yung car industry sa Michigan, 'di ba? Automation lang, 'di ba? Ano pa kaya talaga?
Nawalan nga sila ng chips, hindi na sila makaproduce ng kotse.
That's it, 'di ba?
Okay, anyway, bago tayo maging parang kwentuhan sa kanto, what's your suggestion on how people, because I think at the end of the day, you, Undersecretary Sige, and myself, I think our concern would be more of, hey guys, can we just level down on the entertainment and the time spent or wasted just getting stuck in our devices?
Yeah. Yung responsibility of getting stuck in those devices, responsibility yan ng user. That cannot be controlled by by the outside world, kasi para mga trigger yan, people can tiptoe around you kasi may triggers ka. Pero I mean, yun ang nasa sayo yun. Pero on the part of the corporation and the government, I think more push on education rather than other focusing on other things. Ang sinasabi ko nga para sa akin, siguro problema ang overpopulation. Pero population is not a problem. Nagiging problema nga underpopulation. The mga first world countries sa Europe, they were having problem with underpopulation. Ang problema lang sa population is yung distribution of wealth, Cito. Alam mo naman yun, di ba? Yung distribution of technology. Yun na nga, nakita nga ako, ginaya ko yung post, sabi nga, the future is already here, but it's not just distributed equally. Yun yung naging problema natin talaga ngayon. So I think more on education. Ang matagal na natin sinasabi yan, pero parang ang hirap parang daling gawin pero parang hindi magawa. Yun hindi ko na maintindihan ko. Or ayaw lang makinig ng mga tao. I don't know. Medyo may social diyan eh. May social phenomena diyan na kahit anong advertisement ng gobyerno about cybercrime, may crime pa rin nangyayari, ganun.
So at the end of the day, kung hindi mapaso, hindi mag-iingat.
Ganun.
Okay. Well, thank you very much again, Jing. At least we were able to talk about the subject matter, and I'm certain that in the coming days or weeks, we will be calling on you again, because with ICT month being celebrated, plus all of this on the table, your inputs are going to be invaluable. Thank you very much, Jing.
Again, thank you and welcome.
Okay, good morning to you. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Jing Garcia, Managing Editor of TechSabado.com. He is also the Business and IT Tech Editor of the Manila Times. Let's now go to our closing blessing for the week. And it comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. And this is my wish and blessing for you. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Umasa po kayo sa tulong, lakas, patnubaya, at probisyon ng Panginoon. God bless all of you. Thank you for watching Agenda, your program here on Cignal TV. Please include us in your prayers as well as our loved ones. God bless all of you. Keep it here on One News.